Now I'm sure I pissed people off because that um, I had said that, of course, Paul Schrader had done this film before, in a way, called Dominion, a prequel to The Exorcist. And I'm not a fan of that version. I ranted on it, and I didn't have much to say because nothing really happened in the movie. I don't understand how it's creepy. I don't understand how it's thoughtful. Exorcist 3 is a cool, thoughtful movie. Jacob's Ladder is a thoughtful movie for me. I have a poster right there, Jacob's Ladder. Dominion? No. So if you're not going to give me thoughtful that actually fucking works, then give me actually some fun. And you know what? Renny Harlin, I'm a fan of him as a director. This is not a great movie. It's not even a good movie. But I think it's a decent film. This is a film I'm like, time waster. I didn't mind it. I don't mind the film. I can watch this over Paul Schrader's. Granted, I'm more of a fan of Renny Harlin because I love Die Hard 2. I love Number No Street Part 4. I love Prison. I love Adventures of Ford Fairlane. I absolutely love Cliffhanger. I love Deep Blue Sea. I like... Fuck it, I love Mindhunters. This, I think, is... I thought it was a decent film. Granted, maybe that's because I'm not a big fan of the original film. Exorcist 2 is the worst. Exorcist 3 is my favorite, and I love Exorcist 3. George C. Scott and Brad Dourif. I love that film. This I thought was decent. You put this over the original? The original gets all the praise it wants and gets... I already said my piece on the original. Yeah, I would rather watch a bunch of soldiers and a bunch of African guys go together and kill the shit out of each other and get some blood in there and a fucking axe in the head. Hell, even the way this film opens, which again, it's very interesting seeing Dominion, that version, and this version. Just like the way that opened was Father Merrin having to point so the Nazis had killed people. And you have that in this, but you see that later in flashbacks. And then even then there's a little bit of differences because I think in that one, a soldier killed a woman. In Renny Harlin's version, the Nazis kill a kid, which I thought made that a little bit more effective. And I liked either the way that opened or the flashbacks, but I think it works just fine as flashbacks. Plus, you did I thought, a pretty cool opening. Because it takes place on, like, what is this, Crusades? But you have, like, thousands of bodies, dead bodies, and then, like, hundreds of people hung upside down, on upside down crosses. I went, wow, this, even one's, like, dead with this fucked up eye, this up close one. I'm like, wow, that's a hell of a way to start your movie. Okay. We have Ben Cross, who's not in Dominion. Ben Cross is in this one, which I like. I don't mind Ben Cross. I haven't seen his film The Unholy in a long time, but I don't mind Ben Cross as an actor. He pretty much just hires Father Merrin to investigate this church in Africa. And kind of like Paul Schrader's version, he is joined by a Father Francis character, which Father Francis character, he has more in the Dominion, Paul Schrader's film, because there's more screen time of him and him trying to help the crippled boy who has the fucked up face, and he's the one who believes this is possession, tries to get Father Merrin convinced. Here, Father Francis is more of a tiny character, and I was kind of fine with that, because either way, I didn't give a shit about the character. So the lesser the better, and it's a different actor, and I don't mind either actor. But this one, I put over because there's less of it. The character. I didn't give a shit about the character. I was more interested in Father Merrin, which you get, I'd say, more of in Renny Harlin's version. But you still got that character. You still got the major, the soldier who shoots someone and then shoots himself. Still got the female doctor. The female doctor is a different actress, and I'd probably say I thought she was a little bit better than the actress in the Dominion. I thought she was a tiny bit better. Of course, maybe that helps that she's a little bit easier on the eyes as well, but also maybe because she has a little bit more to do as well with her character. I like a bit where you also have this asshole, which wasn't in Dominion, this asshole who was always trying to get in the female doctor's pants. And I like for some little differences. Like I like that Father Merrin stops his asshole from throwing this bottle at this kid. I thought, okay, cool. Father Merrin, he's not a pushover. And little things like in Dominion, they just went through the door. Here, I like the little bit that they actually went through the ceiling. I like the lighting in that sequence. Like they both have the sequence in both versions where they go into the church, and of course it's the same in both films where the church has been buried and unearthed, and wow, it looks like it got built and then buried, and then they go down and say, wait a minute, all the statues should be going up, but they're looking down like they're holding something in. But I don't know, I like the way it was done better in this because I thought the lighting just, I mean, little stuff. Them going down from the roof made it a little bit different, a little bit interesting. I don't know why. I just, hey, instead of from the front door, why not the roof? And I thought the lighting was better. Granted, Renny Harlin does a little bit more for the cheap stairs. Like, oh, here's some birds. So I got knocked a point off for Renny Harlin for that stupid shit. But I like the way the scene played off better, and even uh, like the reveal that there's something underneath. In Dominion, Paul Schrader's version, it was the Father Francis spilled something, and then you have this shitty CGI. It looked like a CGI snake. If it was real, I didn't fucking wasn't well photographed. Looked shitty CGI, and then he had spilled water, and there's dripping. You hear dripping. Here, Father Merrin doesn't do it quite yet, but later on, I actually like that the way he finds it in Renny Harlin's version better, because he's by himself and he has a lighter. And he's moving the lighter, and he sees when he gets to a certain point that the fire moves, like there's a draft. It's like, wait a minute, where's that draft coming from? I don't know, I just like those little things better. I thought that's more interesting with the fire than just, you just hear drips. I don't know, maybe because I enjoy a visual storytelling. Renny Harlin kind of does more of that. Maybe that's just more my kind of thing. And you have this little subplot that wasn't in Dominion, but like he finds an Aramaic in the tent of this guy who was there before, and he went crazy. And even the way, I mean, like I said, in Dominion, the way it opened, here you get a little bit of flashback in that, it's different. In this version, the Nazi actually shot the kid in the head, which I thought was a little bit more, I thought it was done, I thought that was, instead of just shooting a woman here, the Nazi shoots a kid in the head, which I'm like, okay. I like that Father Merrin sort of wakes up and he's going a little bit wild in his room, and he actually breaks the mirror, and the pendulum of the clock like stops, and so I like those little I don't know, I just enjoy those little touches more. Now you have the worst scene in the movie where these two kids get attacked by these CGI hyenas. It was the worst scene in the movie. To be honest, the scene should have been cut out. You have shitty CGI hyenas in that as well, but here, like that, you see him kind of like, I don't want to say in the background. Oh yeah, that's another thing I forgot to mention. Dominion, another stupid thing. You see once in a while in Paul Schrader's version, you see this one hyena, which I think is practical, but it looks fucking goofy. Like it's a badly done practical one, which at one point glows red eyes. That's another thing I didn't like about that Paul Schrader one. Here, it's just a really shitty looking scene with really shitty. The idea that the hyenas are tearing apart this one kid, the idea is crazy, but the execution is piss poor. I mean, the idea, holy shit, one of these hyenas, I mean, these hyenas are tearing apart one of the two kids, but the execution is pretty piss poor. Just horrendous, some of the worst CGI seen in a long time. So I gotta give a knock. That's why I said this film is not perfect, folks. It's got some stupid, cheap boost ears, which I didn't give a fuck about. I mean, hell, I think it has better pacing than Dominion, but it's not the first half of the film is not the most exciting. Piss poor CGI sequences like that. But then, like, I didn't mind the next scene which wasn't nowhere in Dominion, where he goes to the sanitarium to see that guy who is crazy, and the guy turns and he actually put like a bloody swastika and then cuts his own throat. I'm like, okay, that's a decent little scene. And he picks up some of the pictures that the guy had drawn, and Father Mary's going to use that when he goes back. And I thought once in a while Father Mary was a little bit funny on purpose. There was a couple lines in Renny Harlin's version that got me a couple chuckles. Like one where when he's leaving the sanitarium, the guy mentions something about people who are touched by the devil. He mentions something about nuns and orgies and goats. And Stellan Skarsgård says something like, or it just means they were simply horny and inventive. I just like that. I mean, well, maybe they were simply horny and inventive. I thought that was a really funny line. I thought it was a pretty funny line of dialogue. You get a little bit more of the female doc. Different actress. I mean, she has this dream where, because instead of the crippled, fucked up looking boy in Dominion, it's the boy that wasn't attacked by this shitty CGI hyenas. That kid, who's just a normal looking kid. And she has a dream like, hey, are you okay? And the kid's like holding his dead brother's head in his lap, and then she wakes up. But the kid is sick, lesions. I kind of didn't mind this scene. The kid is shaking, and whatever you call it, the IV type of thing is filling up with blood, and then it falls down when it smashes. Of course, red stuff falls over the floor. You do get some of the similar stuff. You get the Maddie Baby thing that was in Dominion. You get I'll wait on that. The asshole who keeps trying to pick up the female dog, he gets his comeuppance because his face has all this pus and lesions on it. And the next day, they find kind of the start of the remains. They find the asshole's teeth, like on his table, which I thought that was kind of a nice touch. That they just found his fucking teeth. And then later on, I'll jump ahead. Later on, when they find him, it's really in Dominion. When they open up the doors, they find two soldiers. Like one's kind of tied up. Was he upside down? I can't remember. And the other, you just see the guy's head. Here, I thought it was a better scene because when they find the asshole and they go in the church, the guy's tied up, but like you could tell that he has a lot missing, and this complete thing is gone. There's a big hole in it, and you look from the back and you see the guy's spine. I thought it was more graphic and nasty, and nice effect, and I thought that was pretty cool to see, you know. Also, you have a scene in here where the father of the kid and some villagers, well, some tribesmen are going to kill the kid. They're doing this ritual, these legions. I actually like this scene as well because, not legions, they have these leeches, and the kid's like shaking, and then all of a sudden, bones start breaking on the people who are, they're going to kill the kid. Like, a guy's hand goes all the way back and almost breaks off, and like bones are breaking, and got some good gory stuff. I mean, that's the thing. I think this film does have some nice gory stuff to it. I think it does have some nice gory stuff to it, which I appreciate. You have a little bit in Dominion, but you have more in this one. This one, you have some more visceral stuff in this, which I know people are like, well, that's cheap. But hey, don't have me bored at least. Not that fucking bored. Again, it's not a fucking masterpiece, but I wasn't at least bored. And you get more of a flashback of Father Merrin, what happened to him. If you wonder why I keep looking down on Dominion and this, I took notes. And the reason I took notes on these two reviews is because I wanted to sort of get the comparisons in there, because I thought it was kind of interesting thing. These two films were kind of done at the same, not really same time, but another thing that they have in this film they don't have in Dominion is Father Merrin going up and digging these graves. Is like, wait a minute, if they burn, they're dead, then what the hell is these graves? And he's digging these graves and they're empty. And you get more of an animosity between Merrin and Father Francis. I think Father Francis is only in this a little bit. You don't get really an animosity in Dominion. Here you get animosity. And it's weird. When I saw Father Merrin sort of push Father Francis, it's like any minute I was supposed to say, like, call him Burke. Like, do you know what you've done here? Well, I want to make sure you get burned to the wall. What was the fucking line? Right to the wall. You understand what you did here, Burke? Well, what can I say? A lot of movies made me think of Aliens. But pretty much, you get the story of what the opening segment was about. Was that long ago there was these two armies and they killed each other, and this is sort of remnants of that. And the Vatican had sort of kept this hush hush, and they thought that this was possibly where Lucifer was at. That it was the church sort of hiding stuff. And you did the same thing when the Major kills one of the tribesmen. That creates conflict. And the Major does kill himself here, but it's not just on a rock and he shoots himself. It's he's sitting in his tent and his butterfly connection, God, fucking up. His butterfly collection is, and a butterfly actually comes out of his mouth, and then that's when he shoots himself. Right, not the best. I could tell it's CGI, but I don't know. There was more to it than just the guy sat and shooting himself. Although you could say that one's more subtle, and this one's like a fucking butterfly came out of his mouth. But I could go either way. But this is where, to me, the big difference is that the finale in this one I thought was worth the shit. But the finale in Dominion was definition of anticlimactic, and it was fucking boring. I said that the exorcism in Dominion is the most boring exorcism I've seen in a movie. This, though, I think there's actually some excitement because there's a sandstorm that comes in, so they can't leave. Father Merrin finds his room that's pretty much filled with blood, and pretty much this war starts between the tribesmen and the soldiers. And they pretty much kill each other. They all kill each other. And you get fucking axes to the head, you get stuff to the throat, you get stabs. Some blood flows. So you definitely get, holy shit, these two are really, like, they didn't get that far in Dominion. Here they go for it. Renny Harlin says, fuck it, we're going for it. And you see these people are dying. And Father Merrin goes down, because I thought this was also interesting too. I remember the very first time I saw this, I did not see this coming. Granted, you can call me an idiot all you want for not doing that, but I didn't see it coming because I thought it was a little boy. And if I don't know, he was just touched by the devil. The one who's really possessed is the female doctor. I remember the first time I saw this, I didn't see that coming. I thought, oh, that's kind of a cool little twist. Because it wasn't like that in Dominion. Who you thought was possessed. Here, who you think is possessed, no, is actually this woman. And I thought that was, I think that's a little bit interesting twist. And it's a more exciting finale. I mean, him going in, and she has the little boy, so he's in there to rescue a little boy, and he does the, with holy water on his forehead. And I like some of the stuff where I think people got mad because you turned Father Mary into an action hero. It's not like he's kung fuing and fucking punching and hitting the girl. Yes, I like the fact that he put holy water on his face, so when the demon got close to him, he put her like this so that she would burn as he's doing the exorcism. I like the idea. He did this, and the holy water just. I like the idea. I thought that's a cool idea. You could do that with a vampire movie. Just put, crosses on your knuckles on your head so you can headbutt people. Maybe you headbutt a vampire with a cross and the head explodes. I wouldn't mind seeing that in a vampire movie. It's not like he did that and the head exploded, although I would have been fine with that. But I think that was a cool idea. And he actually goes after her, going through the cave, and I thought this was another cool idea. As he's going through the cave slowly turns to snow. He's walking as normal, and then there's snow. And then there's the kid there. The kid that had died back then. I thought that was kind of a cool thing. Cool little touch. And he finds the bottle of the Francis. This one, you get like, maybe his heart was ripped out or something like that. And, there's a little bit more of a fight. There's a little bit more of a struggle. A little bit more of, the demon hitting Father Mary and him flying back. I'm sure people use the word cheesy, because they always do. But there's a line which is in both versions which I like, where it's something to the effect of, like, God is not here. But here, Father Mary actually says, oh, yes, he is. And actually takes like his cloth and with the crosses and goes like this to the demon. She flies back. I like that. And I also like that he gets the book and it has the little kid help him. When I'll say this and then you say this. So as they're both trying to get away, I like that they have the little kid helping them. And granted, this scene, effects-wise, is not that great. I like the idea that the demon is running full force, but when the girl is running like this, you can tell that the background is completely fake. So it's like, if I have this, and then all of a sudden I have a green background, and I'm doing like this, it looks stupid. It does look stupid. But I like the idea that Father Marin is yelling like, I cast you out! Like some real passion, man. He's pissed. And then even this is fucked up. It's like a knockout punch where, the demon flies back. Again, the effects-wise, it could have been better. But I like the idea. It's more than it did in Dominion. But it's kind of fucked up because even after that, her soul is saved, but then she dies. And then him and the boy come out. They're the only survivors. So granted, in Dominion, almost everyone else survived. I mean, most of the soldiers survived. The tribesmen survived. The interpreter survived. Here, pretty much everyone died except Father Marin and the kid. So, I guess, you could look at it either way. That, hey, Father Marin, saved everybody. But I don't know. I guess in this one, I like the fact that there was some collateral damage. Maybe because it made it exciting. I mean, I don't know. It didn't bother me as much as it probably should. I know I've been sort of pretty much just going through the plots just to compare these two. It's kind of hard reviews to do for me, but I like Renny Harlin as a director. This is not one of his better films, folks. I mean, Cliffhanger, Die Hard 2, Ford Fairlane, Mindhunters, Deep Blue Sea. I enjoy it. But I think it's better than the stuff he's done recently, like 12 Rounds and fucking, what's that found footage movie he did? But I don't mind the film as a time waster. Stellan Skarsgård is good like he was in Dominion, but this one I thought at least had some more visceralness to it. I thought the girl, granted, it's another take on Radiant because she says stuff like talking about cocks and ass like Radiant did in the first movie. But I thought she looked less goofy than the bald motherfucker in Dominion. I'm sorry, I thought makeup-wise she looked better than the guy in Dominion. But even then, I would still pick Exorcist 3 hands down over any of these. But neither of these are great movies. But it was interesting to watch these back to back and show how two directors went two different routes with these movies. I know a lot of people like this less. Like Dominion, a lot of people like more, and this one a lot of people hate. A lot of people hate this movie. I don't hate this movie. It has a lot of flaws, which I've said throughout this review, but I don't hate this movie. I still like Stellan Skarsgård. I like the third act. And I like some of the visceralness, like the bones breaking, but it's still not the best movie. But I liked it okay. I liked it as a time waster. I can understand why it flopped and why people don't like it. I understand. This is one I understand. But I'd rather watch that than Dominion. I think Dominion is a fucking sleeping pill. This wasn't a sleeping pill for me. I thought it went at a little bit better pace. Yes, fine. I'm a sucker for action movies. So the fact it went a little bit more of an action route in the third act. Hey, I'm an action fan. I got fucking Cobra and Hard Target posters. This should be obvious. Sue me. Be away. I guess after watching all these Exorcist films, you could tell I'm not the biggest Exorcist fan, but I still love Part 3. Brad Dourif and George C. Scott, that's still hands down to me my favorite. But either way, thanks for watching my rambling. Take care, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.